Hello everyone. Recently, I discovered an amazing Python library called as PixelLib. What exactly does it do? Well, PixelLib is a library used for easy implementation of semantic and instance segmentation of objects in images and videos with very few lines of code. So essentially, you can replace your background, you can blur your background, you can do 10 different things on your background using very few lines of code. So that is the amazing power of PixelLib. A big shout out to the creators of PixelLib for creating this amazing library. I'll add the link to the repository in the description section of the video. Feel free to star as well as fork the repository. With that, let's kickstart the video. But hey, hold on. It would be really motivating if you can press the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to be notified for amazing videos that I create on data science and machine learning. Assuming you've already subscribed, let's kickstart the video. Before I jump and show you the power of PixelLib, I'll first install PixelLib. So the way I would do that is by your regular pip install PixelLib command. Now that the PixelLib library is installed, the next thing that I'll require is a pre-trained model. So I'll download a pre-trained model as well. So let me run the cell. Now that our background work is done, let me go forward and import the necessary modules. In order to start using PixelLib, I'll basically call the function alter underscore background and save this into a variable called as change underscore background. So let me run this cell. Let me also walk you through the different functions that exist at this point of time with respect to change underscore background object that I've created. So let me run this cell. So these are the different functions that exist at this point of time. You have something called as blur underscore background. You have something called as blur underscore video. We have something called as color underscore background, gray underscore background, load Pascal VOC underscore model, and so on and so forth. So there are different functions that you can directly utilize and get up and running with different semantic segmentation tasks. Before we start manipulating the actual background, I'll first go forward and load the Pascal VOC model into this variable that I just created, which is change underscore bg. So let me run the cell. So I have two files, image.jpg and background underscore image.jpg. Let me load them into corresponding two variables called as file underscore name and background underscore file underscore name. So let me run this cell. Let me go forward and show you the original image. So this is the original image that I have. Let me also show you the second image that I have. So this is the second image that I have. Where will I use the first and second image? Well, just hold on for a second and I'll kind of walk you through the entire process. The first activity that I have in mind is to blur the background. Blurring the background has never been easy. It's a one-line command that you'll have to utilize in order to blur your background. You just have to supply the file name. The next parameter is where you specify the amount of blur that you want. Do you want the blur to be extreme? Then you'll have to set extreme equal to true. Currently I've set moderate equal to true because I want the background to be moderately blurred. Lastly, you will also have to specify the output file name, which is what I've done here. So the output file name in our case is blur underscore image.jpg. So let me run this cell. The conversion is complete. Let us go forward and visualize the blurred image. So this is the output that we've been able to reproduce. As you can clearly see, it's done a great job in terms of detecting the edges as well. So overall, it's doing a fabulous job in terms of blurring the background and keeping the foreground as is. Let us now go forward to the next task. So if you have a custom requirement of creating a grayscale background against your normal foreground, then it's essentially a one-line command that you can think of. So you just have to supply the input file name. Next up, you also have to supply the output file name and just execute the cell. Now let's go forward and look at the processed image. So this is the new processed image. You have a grayscale version of the background and your foreground remains as is. So it's a very good effect that I've been able to achieve using a single line of code. Moving on to the third effect, that is changing the background color altogether. So if you want to remove the background completely and fill it with a custom color, then even that option exists. The only thing that you have to now do is you have to call color underscore background function, pass in the file name, that is the input file name, pass in the three-dimensional color representation in form of a pixel value, and also specify the output file name. Once all of this is carried out, you just have to run the cell, and once the execution is over, you can now visualize the results as well. So let me go forward and run the cell. So yeah, this is the color that I wanted to replace the entire background with. So I've been successful enough in doing this with just a single line of code. The final piece that I want to show you is the background change effect. So next up, if you have a custom requirement where you want to change the entire background image altogether, keeping the foreground same, then you can achieve this task by a single line of code, that is by calling the function change underscore background underscore image, passing the foreground image file, next up passing the background image file and specifying the output file name. So let me run the cell. Now that the execution is complete, let me go forward and show you the final result. So as you can clearly see, the background image that I had chosen initially, I was able to successfully crop my section of the image, that is the foreground of the image, and place it into a new background image. So if you've analyzed closely, all of what we were able to execute was in just one line. So this is the power of PixelLib library. So this is all that I had in this video in terms of demonstrating the power of this amazing library called as PixelLib. Feel free to explore more functions. If you can think of more functions that can be added to this library, feel free to create pull requests around this. And yeah, this is all that I had for today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do like the content that I post on my channel, it would be really motivating if you can press the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to be notified for amazing videos on data science and machine learning. Thank you so much for watching this video.